Manually entering basic code from a SoftSide Magazine type-in was not the only way to get a copy of Dogstar Adventure. You could purchase the game already typed in for a Model I on a cassette from the TRS-80 Software Exchange for $9.95, or on special the month of May 1979 for $7.95. But that was also in BASIC, which was and still is known for being a slow, plodding interpreter language. What if you did not want to type it in and you wanted it to run fast? Enter Adventure International, the company run by Scott Adams, makers of Adventureland. They had your back. Not immediately, but in 1984, according to the game's copyright notice, or as early as 1981, according to the Adventure International Catalog, Volume 2, Issue 5, page 11, you could purchase the game for either the TRS-80 Model I or the TRS-80 color computer on a 16K cassette tape for $19.95. This version was marketed as Other Venture Number 5. Title: Death Planet, The Dogstar Adventure. Yes, in lowercase. And it had significant changes. The most obvious one is that it was now coded in machine language. This made it more fast and more efficient. Minor changes to the map also took place, but the one I find the most interesting was the decision to port it over to the Adventure International input and output interface design. Instead of using the method we observed in the previous Let's Play of this game in BASIC, it is now neatly and efficiently following the same style long established since Adventureland. Environment above, interactions below. Plus, now all the treasures are clearly marked, and any vague room descriptions have been cleaned up, creating a straightforward game. And the one we're going to play together now. I've looked all over, and I've tried to find the Coco version of this game, but I've been completely unsuccessful. In fact, no one in the Coco communities which I frequent has any knowledge of it at all. Because of this, we're going to be playing it on a TRS-80 Model I. For ease of play, it's been converted over to run from a floppy disk drive, which you should see as soon as I run the directory command. Reset. Directory /1. File directory, Dogstar command. Let's run Dogstar. Restore a previously saved game. No. Adventure, version 3.3, Adventure Number 1. Written by Dave Librick, 309-685-0187, January through August of 1984. Welcome to Adventure by Dave Librick. In this game, you will travel through many different locations and do many things. You will do so by giving me 1 or 2 word English commands which tell me what to do. You may be called upon to get treasures and return them to their proper place, or to accomplish a mission. The top part of the screen tells you where you are and what you see, and is updated every time anything happens. Keep looking back at it to see if there is any important changes. Examine everything, and if one command does not work, try another. Some commands which often work. To take inventory, type inventory. To save the game, type save game. To go compass directions and up and down, type their initials, N-S-E-W-D. To go to a hole, you might say go hole. Try everything, and above all, think. Good luck. Hit any key to begin. I'm in the passenger and storage compartment of my spaceship. Visible items, sign, leave stuff here. Obvious directions, north and down. Welcome to Dogstar by David Librick and Lance Micklus. You're in your spaceship on the flight deck of the Dogstar space station. You must find Princess Leia and other treasures hidden aboard this station and escape with the help of the rebellion. Good luck, and may the Force be with you. What should I do? The first thing you should notice is that they tell us that treasures are marked on either side with an asterisk. The second thing you should notice is that we are no longer starting in the cockpit of our ship. Instead, we are starting directly to the south. You'll probably also notice at a few places throughout the game, copyright and intellectual property ownership is not really considered back in this time and period like it is now, so they could use names of things that they would not normally be able to use without paying royalties. I'm not going to be saying what should I do every time it shows up anymore, so just assume that I said it. Let's get going. The first thing we want to do is we want to head down. I'm in a huge flight deck next to my spaceship. Visible items, sign which says out of order. Obvious directions are north, south, and up. We want to head to the supply depot because we need to have a blaster just to be safe. In order to do that, we need to go south, which takes us to a huge flight deck, and then we are going to go east. We're still on the flight deck, but there's a sign here which says needs turbo, and there is antimatter fuel here. We are going to get the fuel, and then we are going to continue going to the east, which puts us in a hallway with doors on all sides. Visible items, a sign on north door, closed for the day. We can go north, south, and west. We want to go north in order to get into the supply depot, with visible items, a blaster, a cassette tape, and the ammunition for blasters. Now, if you watched in the previous Let's Play of Dogstar Adventure on the TRS-80 color computer, you will notice that here it tells us there's a blaster, a cassette tape, and ammunition, but in the basic version it does not tell you those things. It relies on you exploring the world in order to find out what is here. What do you need to look for? So this makes it a lot more easy. And the things we want is we want to get the blaster, and we want to get the tape. We're going to leave the ammunition here because our blaster is already loaded, and if we get the ammunition now, it will pull the clip out that we have, throw it away, and put this new clip in, thereby having the amount of ammunition we can possibly or potentially have throughout the game. And since the random number generator god decides to send us guards at odd intervals, we are going to need to have as much ammunition as possible. So now we are going to go south to get out of here, and we're going to head back to our ship, which is west, west again across the flight deck, and then we want to go north and back up into our spaceship. As you saw before, there's a sign that says leave stuff here. It still says that, and we're going to drop the fuel. And now we have left our first treasure here. The next step that we want to do is we want to head to where we can make a copy of a tape, get the plans, get a few more treasures, get an identification card, and head back. Well, you will see. Let's go ahead and do it. We're going to head back down, which puts us next to our ship on the flight deck. Then we're going to go north. So we're in a hallway with a vault to the east. We're not going to go into the vault until much later in the game. Instead, we're going to continue going north, which puts us in a computer room, and visible items, a screen that says C-Save Tape. This is our instructions. We have the tape. We want to C-Save the tape. The TRS-80 printed, now saving on cassette. Attack plans very secret. I am carrying a blaster secret attack plan. So it gave us the attack plans automatically. Should also notice, if we do an inventory, we're carrying the secret attack plans. They are on the tape. If we were to be doing this in the basic version, the attack plans and the tape are two separate items. From here, we are going to go north into a testing laboratory. In here, we see a turbo encabulator, an evil-looking scientist, a cloaking device, and an ID card. The first and most important thing when we are here is to shoot the scientist. Well, it's to learn how to spell scientist. Shoot the scientist. Zap, you vaporized him. Now we need to get the treasures that are here, which is the turbo encabulator and the cloaking device. We also need the ID card. That is very important. We cannot complete the game without the ID card. So let's get the turbo encabulator. And then we can get the cloaking device. Notice here we said cloaking, and in the basic version we said device. And then we want to get the ID card. And then we have to head back to our spaceship, which is simply going south through the computer room, south again through the hallway next to the vault, south, and we're on the flight deck next to our spaceship, and then go back up into our ship. And here we are going to drop the items that we've picked up. So we want to drop the device, which is the cloaking device, and then we want to drop the turbo encabulator, and then we want to drop the plans, and then we want to drop the ID card. Let's run a quick inventory. Make sure we're only carrying the blaster, and then we're going to take off on another trip, this time to the strategic planning room. To do that, we go down, and then we're going to go south again, which puts us out on the huge flight deck. And here we are going to go east. We've been here before, east again. This is where we went north in order to get into the supply depot. But instead, we're going to go south, which puts us at the end of a hallway. Obvious directions are north, east, west, and down. We're going to go west into the strategy planning room. Visible items, communicator, very surprise guard, keys, and death ray schematic. Obviously, we want to shoot the guard first. So let's shoot the guard, vaporize him, and then we're going to pick up the communicator, the keys, and the death ray schematic. So let's get the communicator. A voice says sesame. Now I could go into a very long dissertation about how this is a reference to Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, and how this is quite often misinterpreted as people believe it's supposed to be open sesame, but it is open sesame because of a misunderstanding that is documented in the book. But we're not going to go into that. Instead, we're going to just pick up the rest of the items that we need, which is get the keys. Sorry, I misspelled. And then get the schematic. From there, we need to go north into the tractor beam control room. There's a sign which says do not press any buttons, and there are buttons here. Obviously, it is telling us to press the button. Click. The tractor beam is off. And now, let's head back to our ship south, and then go east, and then north, and then west, west again, north, we're down below our ship, and then back up into our ship. And here we need to drop some things. So we are going to drop the communicator, and we are going to drop the schematic. And do a quick inventory. We're carrying the blaster and the keys. And now that part we've all been waiting for. We need to go to the officer's lounge, get a hamburger, and go to the bathroom. To do that, it's really simple. We start by leaving our ship, and then we're going to go south again. We're used to the flight deck by now. We're going to go east and east again. North of here is the supply depot. We're going to go south. We were just here. And then we're going to go down. I'm in a hallway. To the east is a restroom. Instead of going east or up where we came from, we're going to go north. And north, I'm in a lounge. A visible item, a McDonald's hamburger. We want to get the hamburger. It is not a treasure, but it's very important. Now, an important thing here, I mentioned in the basic version, I'm going to say it again here. We cannot take too long with this hamburger. It will get cold. This is what Lance Micklus described as an inspiration from Colossal Cave. Colossal Cave Adventure has the lamp, and the lamp has a number of turns it can be used before it runs out, and game over. And that became an inspiration for a lot of games throughout time. Zork has a similar problem. Actually, any game really that has a countdown timer can be traced back to that game having that happen. Here we have the countdown timer. Every time we make a move, it deducts one from the timer, and we cannot deliver the hamburger where it belongs. If that happens, it's game over. However, we do have enough time to take care of a few items before going where it needs to go. So that is what we're going to do. So let's go south, back out of here. So we're back in the hallway, and we want to go east. And in the basic version, this room does not exist. However, I have talked to Jim Gary about this, and he says he's gone in and fixed that. We're in a bathroom. Visible items. There's graffiti on the wall, pipes leading up through the ceiling. Obvious directions are north and west. We want to read the graffiti. It says on the wall, "Your mother's got a big nose. Kilroy was here too. Say security." And if you followed along with the basic version of this game, you already know say security is the key that we need from this graffiti. Remember it, it comes in handy later. Now, unlike the basic version, we do not go up in order to get into the pipes leading through the ceiling. Instead, we want to go to the pipes. And this takes us into a pipe tunnel which leads in every direction. This is a basic maze. We need to go somewhere where we're going to find a map of the ship. So we're going to go up again, and then we are going to go north, and then we are going to go south. I'm lost in a maze of pipes, visible items, map of the ship. Obvious directions. We can go any direction we want here. But first, we need to get the map. And now we're going to head to the jail, which is to go north. And then we want to go up. And in the classic tradition of all maps, just because we went up does not mean going down is going to take us the same location, because there's now a jail below us. So let's go down into the jail. Obvious directions are north, south, east, and west. We want to go south. When we attempt to go south, we're going to run into a cell door that is locked. I'm in the maximum security area of the jail. Visible items, locked steel door. Obvious directions, north. So let's open the door. Use the keys in order to do that. We do not need the keys anymore. So let's drop the keys. And then we're going to go south into the door. I'm in a jail still. The visible items are Princess Leia. Let's get ourselves a princess. I've always wanted one of these. A princess of my own. So now we're going to go north, and then north again, where we're in the jail. And then from here we're going to go meet an attack robot. We're at a security desk, visible items, attack robot, elevator, and the obvious direction to go is east. This is who needs the hamburger. Now, why does a attack robot want a McDonald's hamburger? I do not know, but we're going to feed the robot. The robot eats the hamburger and disappears. Holy smokes, an armed guard just walked in. This is the RNG I was talking about? So let's shoot the guard. We've vaporized him. We have 1 round in our ammunition left. Now, since we do not want to go back the direction which we came from, we're going to go into the elevator, which, by the way, is to the north. And then there are 2 buttons, an up button and a down button. We want to go up. The elevator moves up. And then we want to leave the elevator by going south into the interrogation room. Here we're going to find Princess Leia's cape, which is a treasure. So let's get the cape. And then we're going to go west into the decontamination room. And there's a necklace here. Let's get the necklace. And then we need to head back to our ship. And on the way, we're going to stop at the supply depot and reload our blaster. So we go west, and then we go north. And see, this is where the sign closed for the day is. We're going to go north and get the ammunition for blasters. Now, in order to get the ammunition, we have to first drop something because we're carrying too much. So let's drop the cape. An armed guard just walked in. We shoot the guard. And as you can see, we're out of ammunition. Let's get the ammunition. My blaster is reloaded. Let's get the cape. And from here, we're going to go south, and we're going to shoot the guard, and then head back to our ship. To do that, we're going to need to go west, west again, north, and up into our ship. Here, we're going to drop the treasures that we're carrying. So we're going to drop the necklace. We're going to drop the cape. We're going to drop the map. And we're going to drop ourselves 1 USDA Prime Princess. Let's do a quick inventory. And notice we're just carrying a blaster. It is now time to head to the vault. But first, we need to get the ID. And then we're going to go down, north, and west. West again, and down again. Here we're in a research lab. Deactivated micro laser gun. We need that micro laser gun. I do not know what purpose it serves in the game other than a treasure. But we're going to go up out of the research lab into the long corridor. We're going to go west, which is in a long corridor. We're going to go north. The entrance to the development lab section. We're going to go east, which puts us in a hallway with a vault to the east. And remember I said we're going to go into the vault? East again. We are near the entrance to the vault. Visible items, sign which says authorized personnel only. Obvious directions, east and west. We just came from the west, so we're going to go east. I'm in a vault. Visible items, millennium crystals, obvious directions, west. A voice booms out. Who goes there? We want to tell them that we are security. Otherwise, they're going to come out and kill us. I'm at an identification computer. The screen says insert ID. So let's insert our ID. The computer gives it back and says pass. We are now going to get the crystals. It is now time for the home stretch of the game. We just need to get back to our ship, dance a little jig, hit a few buttons, and we're good to go. So let's go west to get out of here. And we're back at the entrance to the vault. We're going to go west again. So we're in the hallway with the vault to the east. We are going south from here, which should put us next to our ship. And there's an armed guard. We've vaporized him. We still have one shot left in our blaster, but we do not need it because we're going up into our ship, and here we are safe. We need to drop some things we're carrying, but before we can drop them, the ground here only has a certain amount of space it can hold items, and the communicator will put us over that limit. So let's get the communicator. Besides, we're going to need the communicator, so it works out in the end. We're going to drop that gun that we picked up earlier, and then we are going to drop our ID because we do not need it anymore. And there's the crystals. So as you can see, we have the antimatter fuel, the map of the ship, the shinestone necklace, Princess Leia's cape, the turbo encabulator, the secret attack plans, the death ray schematic, the cloaking device, the deactivated micro laser gun, the millennium crystals, and Princess Leia. That is 11 treasures. There's also an ID card laying on the floor here. But if we check our inventory, we will see that we're carrying a blaster and a communicator. All 11 treasures are accounted for. Let's go north into the cockpit of the spaceship. There's a button which says press to blast off. If we attempt to press to blast off, we are not going to get anywhere because, well, we have one final part of the puzzle to go, and that is to say sesame. A voice comes over the PA system and says opening flight deck doors. And now we push the button. Click. The engines roar and you take off. You escaped the Dog Star station. I've stored 11 treasures. On a scale of 0 to 100, that rates a 100. Fantastic! You solved it all. The game is now over. Another game? So, as you can see, this version of the game was much more streamlined, not only in code, which objectively runs faster, but in overall presentation. It delivered all the information more efficiently, and thereby makes for a smoother and, I think, more enjoyable experience. If you're going to play this game, this is the way to play it, but if you want a more challenging version, where it's more easy to get lost and lose track of what's going on, then go for Lance's original basic release. When I compare it to the rest of Adventure International titles we've played together, I would rate it as well deserving of the name. It fits in with them quite well. It almost feels like one of Scott's own creations. High praise, yo. It makes me want to play more Adventure International game titles, which I'm sure can only be a good thing. So is the act of liking and or subscribing. The only thing that can come from that is positive energy. Positive energy for you, positive energy for me, positive energy for the little bugs, slugs, and snails, and all the adorable little critters outside. Also, feel free to drop me a request. And I cannot promise you that it will get done, but I will look at every single one and see if I can try to work with them. Until then, however, please be safe, and I look forward to our next adventure together.